Today's lesson, how to draw a cartoon mad robot. Hey, and thanks for checking out my latest video on how to draw a cartoon. This lesson, we're going to learn how to draw a mad robot. I'm John-Marc, and I'm going to teach you the step-by-step techniques on becoming a better artist by sketching, traditional sketching, and also just being very creative and using your imagination. So while I'm talking, just enjoy this video and feel free to use your creative juices and change anything that you might do while I'm doing this one, or rewatch it and change it to something that you may like. So the basic thing I'm doing first is just creating the basic shapes, and there I create the body and that little tread on the bottom part for his feet, and now I'm just creating his eyes and his little lip for anger in his mouth right now, his eyes. So when creating a character like this, you may need some references on facial expressions, but thereafter the robot was just my free imagination while I was drawing this. I had no model sheets in this case. It was whatever came up to my imagination. I said, how about this and how about that? So sometimes it works, and sometimes you could be drawing something that may not work. This happened kind of just worked, and I just wanted to share that sometimes you don't need a model sheet. You got to come up cold turkey and create it on your first shot. And in this case, this is the first shot, and even with that, this is just a sketch. And from that sketch, you can thereafter modify and change things afterwards. But at the very end of this video, you will see that I have a cleanup version, and that cleanup version I will color in Photoshop, and I'm not going to ink it in. I'm going to leave the pencils in there to give a different technique. So building it up, the structure, getting back to the lesson, and as you're watching, I'm working on his arms. I'm like, okay, what type of hand or claw or what am I going to be looking like? And I'm just making it up as I go. So it's all light right now with the pencil. When I'm sketching, don't worry how loose it is. That's okay, because this is just using your thinking process, so it's not perfect yet. And so I wanted to make the same type of hand or claw on the other side. So I'm kind of just looking at this one on the far left and kind of mirror imaging it on the right, but at the same time might do a little foreshortening and make it a little smaller since the angle that I have, it's not so flat. And let's put a little light on the top there on him right now. There you go. I'm working on his face a little bit more. I'll be coming back throughout this little robot, and I'll just okay, a little bit more sketching here, or how about going a little darker here? So it's just random. There's no reason why I'm starting on one side or the other. So when you're an artist, don't feel like you have to start everywhere and complete the entire arm looking gorgeous and all finished and the rest of it isn't. Just build upon it one step at a time. Pretty much a building block. When you're making Legos, you're taking one block and just adding the next and the next and the next until you get to the final stage of the Lego. In this case, the final stage of this mad robot. All right, so sometimes when creating your visual idea, you might flow one day better than the next. That happens to me a lot. It's sometimes your creative juices are really going. So when I made this video, I had a lot of other videos I made at the same time because my juices, my creativity was really going. So I just concentrated on that. And you'll see more robots just because of that creativity at that moment that I had. And now I'm just making it a little bit darker sketching and a little bit more accurate because I'm liking the shape, I'm liking how it looks, and just adding some more concentrating on the actual art as well now, and this on the illustration rather. Okay. And at the same time, I'm thinking about how can this character be colored, the shapes, that it is, the tone, the textures at times. So my thinking just doesn't just stay with the drawing. Sometimes it thinks, okay, is the background going to be like a cloud or a valley with trees and dirt, like he's running on a back street. So I'm kind of thinking that at the same time when I'm doing this drawing. Let's get his eyes. Okay, there we go. He's really, really upset. Yeah, he just found out that he missed his favorite TV show. It's no longer on. He was all upset. I think it was lost in space. His favorite character was the robot. All right. Let's get his eyes a little bit more darker to get a little bit more cheek in there. So when you watch, look very careful on some of my pencils, because what I like to do is overlapping actions. They just don't stop at corner to corner. They pass sometimes to give that multiple dimension, and also to create that little looseness that I like. All right, so this little area here is kind of like maybe just like the air vent to keep him nice and cool on a hot day, especially when he's hot-headed right now. Okay, there we go. Working on those vents. Just sketching, and a little reminder also, when you want to re-sketch this over again, you may want to take it to your window, and from there put another piece of paper on there, and that could be your tracing window at the same time, unless you have a drawing box, a light box, that is. That's our traditional animation. I did that because I had the light box and it was easily to be done. All right, these are little two buttons. Let's separate them with a line right there. Make it easier to see that it's three-dimensional, and when I shade it in. Also now, let's work on that little light on the top of his head. Okay, let's get that little highlight going all the way around there. Maybe put like a little electrical wattage in there. Okay, let's work on the base right now. There we go. Kind of give that metal look when I do those lines in there. You can even put like little circles to indicate like how they were actually fitted together if you wanted to, so it doesn't look like just one seam. I'm thinking about when I was making this track on the bottom, kind of like how a military tank might have looked, or even a snowmobile, either one of those. Kind of like that. There we go. Let's get more of the components underneath there. Looking good. I'm liking this one so far. And another thing to do, remember, just please put your timing on there and the day that you did it, so it's an encouragement when you go back a week, a month, a year later, and you can see how far you're progressing as an artist. As an artist, please don't throw away anything that you do. It's a good referencing, see how well you're progressing. All right, I'm just shading that in there a little bit on the bottom. Get the top there, get that little dimension, get his eyes there. Let's make him look like he's really flying really quick. Okay, a little taken off with the smoke. You can throw some dirt down if you want coloring this in. And there you go, it's looking good. Yeah, what else there? How about the back side there? A little bit more, I think, there. Yep. A little bit here, there we go. All right, as always, make sure we sign and date. And thanks for watching this video, and have a great day.